And Chip Reid now joins us from Washington. Chip, we just heard Madam Secretary Clinton referring to Senator Cruz's proposal to actively police Muslim American neighborhoods. And now Donald Trump appears to be looking to aggressively one-up him with anti-Muslim rhetoric. I want to let the watchers listen to what Trump had to say about using nuclear weapons to fight ISIS.
I'm never going to rule anything out,
right.
And I wouldn't want to say, even if I felt it wasn't going, I wouldn't want to tell you that,
right.
Because at a minimum, I want them to think maybe we would use it, okay?
Right.
It's the worst thing when we do these interviews with everybody, not me,
yeah.
And you ask a question like that, and everybody comes clean and they're so honest. You know, we need unpredictability.
Good red meat, perhaps, for the Republican base in the primary, Chip, but this could come back then to haunt Donald Trump in the general election.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure there are Democrats all over Washington and wherever else right now imagining ads portraying Donald Trump as reckless and asking, is this the guy you want to have his finger on the nuclear button? Maybe a little bit reminiscent of what the Democrats did to Barry Goldwater back in 1964 with that advertisement with the little girl picking the daisies off the flower and then a nuclear explosion.
Meanwhile, recent polling shows that Hillary Clinton is now beating Donald Trump in terms of handling terrorism, in terms of international crises. If the general election then comes down to such foreign policy, is this Clinton's race to lose?
Well, I tell you, I'm really skeptical about polling on the general election between two candidates we're not even certain yet are going to be the candidates, polling going on now. So I don't think it really tells you much. She certainly has the advantage on experience, but Donald Trump has made clear he is going to try to brand her as incompetent Hillary, just the way he did little Marco Rubio and low-energy Jeb Bush. It's going to be incompetent Hillary, and who knows if that's going to stick.
If international crises have been one bookend to this campaign, what happened on Twitter has been yesterday has been the other, Chip. Another back and forth between Trump and Cruz regarding their wives. The latest, a retweet from Donald Trump showing a side-by-side pictures of their wives with the caption, "A picture is worth 1,000 words." Cruz tweeted back saying that real men do not attack women. Look, you've covered elections for some time, Chip. Have you ever seen something quite like this?
Never, never. It's, I mean, I saw that and my first response was, I'm sure a lot of people, their first response was, that is so crass, it could not possibly have come from a candidate for the presidency of the United States of America. But in fact, apparently it is real. It really is stunning that we have gone down to this level in this campaign.
And in fact, merited a response. Meanwhile, former Republican candidate, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker, is expected to endorse Ted Cruz in the coming days. He would become now the 5th former candidate to back Cruz. Could an endorsement then by yet another establishment figure in the Republican Party be a game changer?
You know, I don't think so. I mean, endorsements are not that big a deal anyway, generally, to the voting public. I'd be surprised if it really makes a big difference. I don't think you're going to see the establishment Republicans really get on board with either candidate until one of them is inevitable, because the establishment Republicans, truth is, can't stand either Donald Trump or Ted Cruz. So they're holding their noses to support either one of them. And the reason they're going to Cruz now is they see Trump as even worse than Cruz. So they're going on with Cruz, but there's very little enthusiasm in that. And I think for them to support Trump, it would take inevitability. And even then, I think a lot of them will not even hold their noses. They just won't support him.
Chip, thus far, then, we've seen voters really reject the ideas of the purported establishment of the GOP. Could then the optics of establishment candidates gathering behind a candidate that you just mentioned they can't really stand actually be a negative?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure there are people out there right now going, wait a minute, Ted, we love you because you're not establishment. We love you because you're not part of the mainstream. You're that guy in the Senate who everybody hates, and that's why we love you. So it's definitely a mixed bag for Ted Cruz to be getting these endorsements from establishment Republicans.
All strange, if not compelling stuff. Chip Reid in Washington, we thank you for your time.
You bet.